My name's Huon Hoogesteger. I'm Managing Director and Founder of Smart Commercial Solar. I would like to talk about the Sungrow 110CX solar inverter. It's our inverter of choice. It's what we use every day, multiple times a day, and we've installed hundreds of megawatts of it around Australia. First impression of this inverter was, ironically, I was actually in the R&D center of SMA in Kassel in Germany when I first saw the 110CX being tested by SMA, and I was there with a workmate, and I looked at that product in testing and I said, oh dear, the next decade will be the decade of the Chinese inverter. Because up until that point, SMA, German manufacturer, product had dominated the commercial market, and I was their largest user in Australia. So I realized at that point, if SMA was scared of Sungrow, we all should be. I started using this product around about 8 years ago. That we were a very large proponent of SMA, and SMA had sort of lost their edge. Sungrow entered the Australian market with the 110, and it was a really good product. At that time, no one else was really doing a 100 kilowatt inverter. ABB was, but not a very good one. And Sungrow entered the market with the 110CX, which had multiple MPPTs for a 100 kilowatt format in a very usable form factor. So it meant that two guys could easily install this inverter. I think Fronius at the time had a 100 kilowatt inverter that weighed about 400 kilos, and this one came in at about 85 kilos. So you can imagine the difference that created when it entered the market. Since then, we've installed hundreds of megawatts of this inverter right around the country, in very hot parts of the country as well, right out in the desert areas of Australia. And so far, we've had really high reliability, really good performance, and very, very few warranty issues. We've had a couple of hot joints create fire, but relative to every other inverter that we've ever used, we've had very low problems. These inverters are working in anywhere from Darwin, which is very high humidity, sort of tropical environment, average temperatures over 30 degrees centigrade, and all the way down into the snowy mountains of Australia, which, the maximum temperature would reach is 25 and down to minus 10. And we have inverters working in every possible environment, also out in dusty desert areas. And we really haven't had that many issues. Sungrow entered the scene really in Australia commercial industry 8 years ago, taking out SMA, who was in number one position. They have had some sort of threats to their market share by Huawei, ABB, Fronius, and Solus. However, they have certainly outperformed all their competitors, and mainly through reliability. I mean, for people like me, reliability is the thing that matters the most. No hidden costs with that particular inverter. Their inverters work well and their warranties are solid. There's no extra funny business. You don't have to pay extra for a 10-year warranty here. So we get a standard 10-year warranty, which is included in the price. And that's because the other manufacturers are offering a 10-year warranty out of the box. I think globally, the 110s probably get a 5-year warranty, and you would have to pay extra for that in other parts of the world. But as I said before in our other podcast, we've got very good warranty law in Australia. The main issue we actually have had with the Sungrow product is not actually Sungrow's problem. It has been the installation quality of the connection into the inverter. Probably the weaknesses I see with the Sungrow 110CX is, it's hard to say. I don't know if there is one. Well, I should tell the manufacturer could lower their price. The manufacturer should lower their price. But otherwise, the product's pretty good. My score for the Sungrow 110CX in terms of installation and usability, I would say is a 5. In performance and reliability, I'd have to give it a 5. Build quality and durability, also a 5. In terms of value for money, I want to put pressure on the manufacturer. I'm going to give them a value for money of 4. And overall satisfaction, I would say, is a 4.5, because there's still room for improvement, I'm sure. If I was to move away from Sungrow, I would probably move to SIG Energy. I look at that product as a real market leader. Obviously, the world's moving away from standard string inverters towards hybrid inverters. And I believe that SIG Energy has a very smart approach to the functionality of their inverter. So inverters are no longer, it's not important for an inverter just to be able to convert sunlight into usable power. It's about what else it can do, and only a hybrid inverter can do more. So I would probably move to SIG Energy.